Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. I have a little bit of extra time so we can jump back onto the Jaguar F-Type. Let's clean it up and get it ready for correction. I had planned on protecting this thing bumper to bumper every square inch with a combination of PPF or paint protection film and ceramic coatings. Let's start off with CarPro Lift. When it comes to cars that come in and we're prepping for protection with correction first, we'll dive into the wash process with CarPro Lift or with built amber autofoam, something with a little bit of kick to get that surface squeak clean before we start the correction process. This vehicle, although has been around for a few years now, it doesn't have a lot of miles on it at all. In fact, looking at its history, most of the miles were put on the first 2 years, and it really sat after that. And it shows in areas where dirt has accumulated from sitting. There are also signs of a car cover that's been on there. So we really need to do a deep cleaning on the painted surfaces. It also has signs of going through a tunnel wash, and a lot of the times there is a hot wax that is sprayed onto the vehicle at the end of a lot of these tunnel washes. So the CarPro Lift or the built amber autofoam or the aggressive soap of your choice will help to break this down as we prep for the correction process. Okay, the vehicle is now completely dry. It's back inside, and I can show you exactly what we will be going after when it comes to the correction process. Really, all of the damage on the clear coat has been done by trying to either care for or protect the car. There are signs of struggles through a car wash and also trying to put a car cover over top of the vehicle. On the trim, you can see the telltale signs of the liner of a car cover that has been laying on the car for quite some time, I would guess nearly a year. Having worked on a few F-types by now, this combination works well. The one pad from Kalkemi and Papa Cut from Phoenix EOD, and really any dual action polisher, a 15 or a 21, whichever you use on a daily basis, would work perfectly fine. We still want to do a test area, so I masked a small area off on the worst of the car, and that's the back quarter panel, which happens to be the widest portion of the vehicle. And that takes a lot of stress going through a tunnel wash where the wraps really put a ton of pressure on the surface and scratch the living daylights out of it. And as I had suspected, this will work fine on this F-type as it has on others. As we could see, it removed all the topical imperfections, and that's really all we're going for. This has an average of 4 mils, a little over 4 mils of thickness, and that's right on target with these. It's on the soft side, the clear coat. We don't want to remove a lot of it, and we will be laying down substantial protection on pretty much the whole vehicle. But we want to get the paint, we want to get the BRG or the British Racing green back into its former glory. Quite anxious to see what the rest of the quarter panel will look like. Let me finish it off. We can move on to a different panel with a different set of circumstances. That's more like it with the topical imperfections gone. The metallic flake from the color coat really shines through now. Up top here, we will be looking at rub marks from seams from a low quality car cover that has not been secured tightly. I am often asked from customers if it is a good idea to purchase a car cover. If you can find one that's high quality, especially on the inside at the liner, and you can securely give it a snug fit, yeah, that's perfectly fine. If it's going to be in a garage, just let it breathe. With the same combination we used on the lower quarter panel, we'll go after these marks as well. Paint restored, and really restored responsibly with no real measurable clear coat removed. So what I'm going to do is have Junior take over the correction process, and I'll turn this into a two-step. You really don't need it unless you have the eye for it, but I'm going to use a smart pad. It's a polishing pad from Lake Country. Team that up with Fabulous Finish from Phoenix EOD, and pretty much jewel the vehicle. So we're just bringing out a little bit extra gloss. And I wanted to show you here, we are, after the correction or the cutting process, around the same mark we started at, 4 mils, a little bit over 4 mils of thickness of all three layers, primer, base coat, and clear coat. And then, of course, on fiberglass and plastic parts, unless you have an expensive paint depth gauge, you won't get a reading. So I'm going to jump on the hood and start the finishing process. And even though it may seem that my helper for the day here has lost interest, well, I'm having a fun time. Guys, the finishing process is one of the most enjoyable steps for me when it comes to paint correction because that's close to seeing the results. These are the results. They speak for themselves, and the BRG is really giving some nice, clear, crisp reflection. So we just continue this process all the way around the vehicle, and where and when it's called for, we just step down to a smaller polisher and smaller pads. As you can see here, the smaller polishers, you can find your fiber 50/50 pads, wool pads, foam pads, and really get in there in those tight areas and those small, hard to reach areas. One area I want to share with you, the chemicals from a car wash can be detrimental to the surface of your vehicle. And then combined with the effects from the sun afterwards, it can really do a number on plastics and just about any finish on your vehicle. They can be restored. Plastic can be polished, smooth or textured. You just need to find the right pad and the right combination. You can't get overly aggressive with any of it, but it can be restored. Same thing with vinyl stripes, um, satin finish, gloss, matte, stealth, plastics, smooth, textured. They all can be brought back to life. With every square inch polished, there's just enough light outside before the end of the day to pull it out and take a look. The order in which I like to get things done is a little different here. Working on my own vehicle, I have to use the bays that are available and if the lift is available. So I do want to elevate it yet and get the wheels off. Clean a little bit, especially the calipers, the barrel, and the back of the spokes of the wheel, and get them coated and protected. Then we'll drop it back down and really start the protection process on painted surfaces. That's going to get involved. I will share that with you, so that will be a future video, but we're making progress now. This has been Brian from Apex Detail. Catch you in the next video.